This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel Strat-O-Matic Baseball Excel Game of the Week.
Welcome back, baseball fans, to the Game of the Week 1979-82. We are trying to wrap up the American League schedule for the regular season. Turns out we got some loose ends. We can get into that a little bit. But we got a series between Milwaukee and Kansas City. Let's just go to the standings. That's the best way to describe all this. A development in the National League is that we got two teams kind of sitting tied for the number 6 seed, Atlanta and Vegas. All the tiebreakers just didn't work out, so I'll let them play a game. Vegas and the Braves, why not, right? I got a day off in the scheduling format. Same thing happened between Oakland and Baltimore at 6 in the American League. And this has been, I like to say that my fall league is an experimental league. So I experimented with changing the rules because I thought it would make it more competitive, and boy did it ever. And that is to say that in the final 5 games, all these series are best of 5s, except I said for these final 5 games, I would allow a 4-1 or a 5-0 if it matters to all parties involved. And that's what happened in the case, for instance, of Atlanta, that the first place Phillies could not get a second win in that series to knock the Braves out. Moreover, the Phillies couldn't get another win in that series to keep a top seed, and they lost 4 out of 5 to the Braves. And Baltimore, same thing. Baltimore was trying to close out the American League East. All they needed was 2 wins, and they couldn't get it. So they're still fighting for something. And what it's all it has meant is that Baltimore's still alive. Of course, Philadelphia, they're still won the division, but they lost the top seed. They fell all the way to 4. Because it matters. It matters. These games are played if they matter. And we have Baltimore and Oakland will be fighting for the 6th spot. But tonight, here we are. These are the last guys in the dance. And it's really just for the American League Midwest title. The Brewers are currently 3 games ahead of the Royals. So I'm allowing Kansas City to say, look, if you can beat the Brewers 4-1, finish in a tie, you'd have the head-to-head tiebreaker. And that would give you this division over the Brewers. It would also knock either team out because they wouldn't have 4 over 500 the way Oakland does and Baltimore does. You see, Kansas City's at 500, so their only path is winning the division. So it is Brewers-Royals. And the Brewers, again, they are 6 over 500. They're a good team, very good team. And the Angels are 6 over 500. The Yankees are not. They're 5 over, so they cannot sneak into a top seed. But the Expos are 11. I don't think the Brewers at 6 can catch the Expos at 11, but the Brewers can stay ahead of California and get a bye. As soon as the Brewers win 2 games, we know they have clinched the division. So we have game 1. I thought I'd just do game 1, start the series with game 1, show you that. Because this is a fun battle in realignment that wasn't there back then. We have Milwaukee and Kansas City in the same division, and they were not in the Robin Yount, George Brett years. So you have the rivalry of Robin Yount and George Brett. Robin Yount's Brewers, George Brett's Royals. Yount gets to a World Series in 82. Brett got to one in 80. They both lost, but then Brett got a win in 85. But here, Yount's Brewers are a little bit better than Brett's Royals. But let's see what happens. Let's see if the Royals can do it. We've seen, like I said, Atlanta did it. They took 4 out of 5. The Yankees took 4 out of 5 of Baltimore. Maybe Kansas City can actually do this thing. We'll play game 1, and then as soon as this game's over, at the end of the video, I'll give you the results of the rest of the series and also indicate the playoff field for the American League regarding seeds. Today's starting pitchers for the Brewers, they're going with their ace, Mike Caldwell. It'll be Caldwell, Moose Haas, Pete Vukovich, Jim Slayton, and then Mike Caldwell in the game 5 if necessary. Caldwell was 16-6, 3.29 ERA, 235 innings and 79. Royals will go with Dennis Leonard, 13-11, 2.99 ERA. Now 202 innings, but it's 1981, the year of the strike. So think about that. It's already the year of the strike, and this dude is the only guy in baseball to throw 200 innings in the strike year. They have Craig Chamberlain in 2, Mike Jones in 3, Larry Gura in game 4 because he pitched yesterday in theory, and Leonard will come back in game 5. That's what Kansas City's mission is. Mike Caldwell, Dennis Leonard, fun times. Brewers, Royals, Robin Yount's and George Brett's MVP cards are present in this game. Let's get started from Kansas City. Leading off for the Brewers, Paul Molitor. 4-10 right up immediately off Leonard. Homer, 1-16. Misses it, gets a double on a 20. Batting second, Del Austin, 2-3. Bounce to first. We got a runner third now. Robin Yount batting third. 57's a K, and with 2 outs, it's Cecil Cooper. And 2-7 bounces out, so the runner's stranded. John Wathan, one of the fleet-footed catchers you're going to find, leads off for Kansas City. 47, skies the center. Ron Pruitt, 310 is a base hit. Batting third is George Brett. 35, single dot. Runners on the corners. Brett's got speed. They got to bring it up and hold for Otis, who's an A-bunter, and you got speed on the bases anyway. So they're going to bring it up and hold for Otis. 311's a walk. Now you can go move it back. For number 5 hitter, UL Washington, in a power spot because he's got power versus left-handed pitching with this card. Playing back, here's the pitch. 211 is your bases loaded walk, and the Royals are getting to Caldwell early here. Number 6 hitter, Al Cowens. 2-6 is a 5-4-3 double play. And the Royals, they score a run, but they waste a bases loaded opportunity. It's 1-0. Top of 2, Sixto Lezcano, 57's a K. Ben Ogilvy, 1-9, second. Jim Gantner, 59, second. Bottom of the second inning, it's Frank White. 67 is a base hit. Jim Wolford, 47, skies the center. Mark Wagner, 39, center. And Wathan, 2-9, rounds to short. Top of the third, Gorman Thomas, 36, it's K. Orlando Sanchez, 57, pops to first. Back up top to Paul Molitor, 68. Single 1-19, and he rolls a 20, folks. Now that doesn't happen very often. This is a single 1-19, bottom of the third. It's Ron Pruitt. 1-7 lines out. Brett, 55, second X. This is Gantner, 2-16, makes the play. Amos Otis, 1-8, it's a walk. Ace Steeler with 2 outs, going to take off. He's going to be in there. Orlando Sanchez is the catcher. Doesn't have a good throwing arm. Charlie Moore on the bench, the regular catcher against right-handed pitching, or left-handed pitching. That's a stolen base. UL Washington. 43, first X. Cooper, oh, he's excellent at first base. He's a 1-6. And the inning's over. We'll go to the 4th. Back up to Del Austin. 45 is a walk. Robin Yount, 5'11", right X. You got Al Cowan, very good defensive outfielder. 2-5 out in right field, makes the catch. Cecil Cooper, 47 is a K. And with 2 outs, Lezcano, 55, flies left. Bottom of the 4th, Al Cowens, 2-6, rounds the third. Frank White, 57, single 1-4, can't get it. And Wolford, 6'12", pitcher. Well, these teams have potent offenses and decent pitching, but it's been the pitching today from the Aces. Or the number 2 starter for Kansas City. Gura's the ace. Top of the 5th, Ben Ogilvy. 56, right. Gantner, 2-4. Rolls to first. Gorman Thomas. 58, flies to right. Hey, Dennis Leonard got the Brewers in check. That leadoff double and nothing after that. Bottom of the 5th. Let's pause a moment for station identification.
This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel.
Este es el canal de videos de camaroneros.
All right, bottom of the fifth. It'll be Mark Wagner leading off. 57, single on a 4, can't get it. Back up top to John Wathan, 55. Second X, Gantner again, 2E16. Nope. Ron Pruitt, 56. K, briskly moving here into the 6th inning already. Orlando Sanchez, 68, base hit. Back up top to Molitor. 49, off the line of card, double 108, single dot. At any time, these teams can bat around and just put up crooked numbers. These are potent offenses, folks. And we're at that point where it might be happening. Runners on the corners. Molitor, he's a double A stealer. Pruitt's got a +2 arm, but we're not going to run out of this inning. This could be a bat around situation, so force them to get you out 3 times. Del Austin, 35, ball 4. That's why he bats second. He's a free agent from the Cleveland Indians who walks a lot. So now you got the bases loaded. Leonard's a starter 8, so you can't really hook him, who was throwing a 1-hitter prior to this frame. Bases loaded, nobody out. You'll probably play the infield back. You got a 1-run lead. You like to get a double play here. Let's take a look at Robin Yount's card. So here he is, your 1982 American League MVP with a .331 average, 29 homers. Let's not forget the 12 triples and the 46 doubles for Robin. And yeah, he would take his Brewers to the World Series. Let's see if he can get started on that in this game for this season. Bases loaded, playing back the pitch to Robin Yount. 5-10 off Leonard to center X. Good defensive player, Amos Otis. And he gets a fly ball 8. So that's a break. No sac fly there. Fly ball 8 was too shallow. Now a double play will look real good out of Cecil Cooper for Mr. Leonard. Here's the pitch to Cecil Cooper. 49, it is not. It's going to score a bunch here. Triple 1-2, single dot. It is the single dot that scores a couple, and your Brewers have a lead. Now you got runners on the corners with 1 out. I kind of want to bring the infield up now to stop the bleeding here. Don't let that runner from third score with under 2 outs if you can. Lezcano. 47 is a K. And with 2 outs, it's Ben Ogleby. 1-5, grounds to second base. So not bad. The 4 monster hitters in the middle of this Milwaukee lineup, only one of those guys came through. And it's a 2-1 game, and it's up to Kansas City to, they put 5 or 6 runs on the board. And they will do that with George Brett leading off. We may as well show you his card now. George Brett's 1980 card, the greatest card in the entire timeline from 1969 to 1984 that I play. 390, my goodness. 449 at-bats, and he struck out 22 times, folks. Think about that. So you hit 390, you struck out 22 times. George freaking Brett. Leading off in the bottom of the 6th. Here we go. 42, rolls first. Amos Otis, 4-6, flies to left. UL Washington, 2-8 is a walk. Ace stealer. Plus arm catcher is going to take off. Mix up and happen. 15, 16, 17. 15, yeah, he's going to be safe by a whisker. So UL Washington steals second base, and Al Cowens, chance to pick up an RBI here and tie this thing up. Pitch to Al Cowens. 47 is a sky to center. Caldwell's, it's a 6 column, and the Royals have not rolled a 6 in this game to this point. That is going to be problematic there. Top of the 7th, 2-1 Brewers. Jim Gantner, 39, short. Gorman Thomas has to bat 8th in this lineup because they're so stacked with his 45 home runs. That's ridiculous, but here he is. 2-4, flies to left. With 2 outs, Orlando Sanchez. 68 is a base hit. Now, kind of a slick little move here. The backup catcher is Charlie Moore, and he's going to pinch run and finish the game defensively. Charlie Moore is actually a B stealer, 14 runner. So that kind of made sense on a couple fronts. Would be nice to do a pinch stolen base here. Let's try it. Let's try stealing a base here. You got a plus arm catcher for Kansas City as well. And we roll an 18, and just about everybody gets thrown out on that. Well, they were trying to, pad the lead, didn't work out. Defensively, we can bring in Bando. Sal Bando will come into play third base. Mahler will go to DH, where he played a decent chunk of his career at DH. Stretch time in Kansas City. Fast-moving game. We are enjoying Fred Neal's. We went back in time and dug this one up, I particularly like. Fred Neal's 1966 self-titled LP. Dolphins, the bat's the bag I'm in, everybody's talking. Great record from Fred Neal, the Capitol record label from 1966. Back to the game. Okay, bottom of the seventh. Mike Caldwell, 2-1 lead. All his defense is in there. Has to attack these Royals. It's Frank White. 55, second X. Gantner has been busy today. And this time he cannot make a play. So that's a shame. Gantner is a really good second baseman, but he could not handle that one off the turf. Base hit for Frank White. B Steeler, but the Brewers improved their catcher with Charlie Moore. So they might not want to steal here. Jim Wolford. 1-8 for Wolford is a sky to center. Number 9 hitter Mark Wagner. 36 is a K. And back up top, John Wathan. 1-4 for Wathan is a fly ball to center. You know, this offense for Kansas City, it's just not going to work. It doesn't matter. I mean, you can't expect more pitching out of this team. And, you know, this offense has got to produce. Or I'm wasting my time. Top of the eighth. Dennis Leonard's a starter 8. Had one bad inning where 3 guys reached, and then he got one of the 4 hitters reached off of him for the 2 runs. That's shouldn't cost you a loss, you know what I mean? So let's go here into the top of the eighth for Paul Molitor. 1-9 walks, double-A stealer, he's going to steal. And it's going to be close. Oh, you got the +2 arm of Pruitt. Yeah, he's going to be safe. Molitor's at second. Now you got Bando on the bench for his defense. He can bunt here. Not a big fan of bunting second to third, but what's turned out to be a low-scoring game. One more run could be pivotal. Pivot with A-L at the end. I can't pronounce that. Bando's going to bunt. It's a good bunt. It's a 4. He's not an A bunter. He's a B. So that's not a single, just a sacrifice. So they do have a runner at third with 1 out. They got to bring it up. And Robin Yount's an 8 bunter anyway, so they have to bring it up for him. Looking for a big hit here out of Robin Yount. You saw his card. Here's the pitch. 46 is second X. Now this is Frank White. Can't reach on a single, have to reach on an error, and they cannot. With 2 outs, it is Cecil Cooper. You just can't pitch around these guys, folks. You got Yount, Cooper, Loscano, Ogilvy with his 41 home runs batting 6th, Gorman Thomas with his 45 home runs batting 8th. Can't pitch around Milwaukee. You got to outscore them. And today, neither team is scoring a lot. Cecil Cooper. 2-10 grounds out. Dennis Leonard. Nice day for him. Up to the Royals to get a rally going. Mike Caldwell's a starter 9. You would imagine the Royals would be better against a righty anyway, simply because of Mr. George Brett. You got a 390 batter who hits over 400 against right-handed pitching. So the Royals it seems like they're not that good against lefties, and we'll see how this plays out. Bottom of the eighth, Ron Pruitt leads off. 64, and I'm going to talk about the 6th column, right? I mentioned that. This is the first time there, and we've got Homer, 1-11, double the rest, and it's a 1, it is gone! Ron Pruitt has power. Ron Pruitt was with the White Sox in 1980, a utility player, and that's a solo shot, and it is 2-2. And now you've got George Brett. 1-4 is a grounder to second. Amos Otis. 2-6 is a base hit for the Ace Steeler. UL Washington. 2-10 center, and with 2 outs, Al Cowens. 1-10 bouncer to short. 2-2 game. The base runners aren't going to affect Caldwell, who's a starter 9, nor the 1 base runner, Leonard. It's not going to affect Leonard, just the 1 base runner. Leonard can go 9. Caldwell could go 10 based on my rules of letting my starter 9s pitch into the 10th inning. So in the 9th, it'll be Loscano. 5'11 right field X. It's Cowens, very good defensive outfielder. Makes the catch. Ben Ogilvy, 46, single one to 6. Cannot connect. 2 outs now for Jim Gantner. 2-5 is a grounder to third base. And how about the day for Dennis Leonard? His day is done. He gave up a 2-run single in the 6th inning. And that's the only thing impeding him from a victory today. Can his Royals walk one off for him? Caldwell's going to match him by going out for the 9th inning and facing the bottom of the Kansas City lineup. Leading off is Frank White. 110, skies the center. Jim Wolford, 57, single one to 4, rolled us a few times and missed it every single time. And with 2 outs, should I at least take a shot at a walk-off homer here? Yeah, I'm going to have Willie Mays Aikens pinch hit for Wagner for the rare chance of him hitting a solo shot off a left-handed pitcher. Willie Aikens will bat for Wagner. He's a 1-2 or a 6-4. Here we go. 35 is a K. He actually has the same template as Wagner. For Wagner's were singles, Aikens were homers. So, 10th inning here, and Dennis Leonard is, his day's done. I usually have the home team's closer go out in the 10th and max out his innings, and that's Dan Quisenberry, and it would be 2 innings. And usually the road team's setup guy comes out in the bottom half, which would be McClure, but in this case, Caldwell could go out for the 10th, as they're both left-handed anyway, so we'll play it that way. Top of the 10th, it is Dan Quisenberry coming in to pitch. Let's take a look at Dan Quisenberry. He was the 12-7, 309 ERA in 1980 and 128 innings. Tragic story of Dan Quisenberry. Leading off in the 10th, Gorman Thomas. 4-4, short X. This is UL Washington's a 2E32 at short. He makes the play. Charlie Moore, now batting 9th. 1-9 for Charlie is double 108, and it's a base hit. He has speed. He's a beast stealer. The Royals have not improved their catching situation. Could steal more here. He did attempt it there and he got thrown out. Don't like to steal with 1 out. Like to do it with 0 or 2. So let Paul Mahler swing away. Not to mention Quisenberry is really good against righties. Paul Mahler. 410 center X. Amos Otis. And that's a fly out. And with 2 outs, it's Sal Bando. 45 skies to center field. All right, Caldwell. How about this courageous moment here? You know, got a big lead in this division. Only need to win a couple games to clinch, but Mike Caldwell's going out for the 10th. Maybe they can get a run for him in the 11th and give him a victory. It'll be John Wathan. 36 is a walk. B. Steeler being held on. And you got Ron Pruitt. It was his solo shot here in the 8th off of Caldwell's card that tied this thing. Pitch to Ron Pruitt. 53. Right X. Lezcano's a 1E5. They got defense too, folks. It's not just the bats. These guys can catch the ball. They got ones at Robin Yount, Gorman Thomas, Cecil Cooper, and Sixto Lezcano. It's a World Series team, folks. That's a fly ball. Brett is up. Brett today. Just 1 for 4 for the 390 hitter. The lefty has him befuddled. Here's the pitch. 2-6 for Brett's a single to right field. Now Wathan. Oh, he's only a 12 runner. Good base stealer. Not the greatest base runner as a 12. And you got a -3 on for Lezcano. So you just don't go coast to coast there on a 9 in that situation. Not when you're 1 batter away, first of all, of breaking Caldwell. And you got Otis, Washington, Cowens, and White. All these guys are better against lefties and righties. So it'll be Amos Otis. 3-6 is ball 4, and now we have the exit of the game for Mike Caldwell. He is loaded the bases with 1 out, and that is going to have to be enough here, unfortunately. You cannot see this thing through. 28 thirds. 9 1/3 innings, the bases are loaded, and I guess they'll just go to their closer, and it's Tom Hume. a guy who actually pitched for the Cincinnati Reds in this era. And the Brewers were looking for a closer, and they went out and signed him away from the Reds. Hume in 79, 10-9 with a 2.76 ERA and 163 innings when he was really a starter. Eventually converted to reliever in 1980. So the bases are loaded, the infield is up. It is UL Washington. A plus catcher's card, things like that will win this game in addition to a walk or hit or error. So the infield up, here is the pitch to UL Washington. 56 off of Hume is second X. The infield is up. Jim Gantner, 2E16. It is a single dot off of Gantner, and that is the ball game. Oh, what a tough way to lose for the Brewers. 2 singles off of a 2 second baseman, and that one in the wrong place at the wrong time. UL Washington gets the single through the drawn up infield. That plates John Wathan, and hey, these Royals came back. Had the early lead, blew it in the 6th, tied it in the 8th, won it in the 10th. There you go, folks. And we got some competition in this division. Royals are not going to go down quietly. Good pitching, well-played game. It wasn't a case of, a team getting a 6-run inning and, front running or whatever. Quisenberry gets a win, a hit in his uneventful inning. Dennis Leonard was really the story, though. 5 hits to 2 runs on that single. 3 walks, 5 Ks. Hume came in and surrendered that hit off the defense, but the loss will go to Caldwell. What a real shame. Caldwell, 7 hits to 3 runs, 1 in the 1st inning, the 8th inning, and in the extra inning. They were all earned. He did walk 6, struck out 3. Nice performance for starter 9. 1-0-0-10, 0-0-10. Oh, excuse me. Hume, of course, 0. I don't know why I put 2/3 there. 1-0-0-10, 0-1-0-9 and a third. There's only 1 out recorded in the bottom of the 10th. 3-8-2-6, 3-5-6-3, 6-3-3-5. That is game number 1. So, the Royals just need to win 3 out of 4. That actually sounds more plausible. You got George Brett on your team, so winning 3 out of 4 against anybody would seem reasonable, I would guess. Pulling victory out of the jaws of defeat is what I like Kansas City doing there. They were fading without any offense. They got the Pruitt homer, and that kind of changed their outlook. So now the Royals are 13-12. It's been a disappointing year. You expected better results than that, but they're still in it, so let's just not give the verdict yet. 285 team, 409 ERA. Quisenberry's got 7 saves. Leonard, 2-4, but that was a nice performance he just had, one of his better performances of the year. Brett leads the club, but it's only 4 homers, which is not a lot. 24 RBIs in 25 games. Georgia's 41 for 109. 376, so he's got a little bit of work to do to get to 390, 400, but he's right in the he's in the pocket with that, I guess. And your Milwaukee Brewers, they fall to 14-9. Mike Caldwell has had a lot of no decisions. He's just 2-3 as the ace of this staff of a 14-9 team. Looks like Moose Haas is the big leader in wins on this team. Offensively, they're not hitting a lot of homers either. Got a couple guys with 5. 22 RBI for Cooper, who also paces the team in hits with 41 for 96. So Cecil Cooper is your Brewer MVP this year, not Yount. Cecil's hitting 427. So there you go. There's a little, and actually Cecil Cooper hit 352 in 1980. If it wasn't for George Brett, Cecil Cooper may have been your 1980 American League Most Valuable Player. Here in this little recreation, though, Cooper's got Yount by about 25, 30 points in batting average. So there you go. How about that? We have played now 451 games. League still hitting 270 with a 4.11 ERA. I'll give you the results of the rest of the series and let you know the seeds for the American League playoffs. Thanks for checking this out, folks. We'll see you soon. Well, baseball fans, here is your box score from Game 1 in Kansas City, the extra inning affair, the walk-off win for the Royals, a 3-2 victory for the Kansas City Royals. They have to win 4 out of 5. Let's see what has happened. It is a marathon. A lot of stuff to talk about. Game 2. Milwaukee at Kansas City. Milwaukee, Moose Haas versus Craig Chamberlain. A couple of righties. They pitched pretty well here. Again, the bats aren't clicking quite yet. Molitor, 2-run homer, 2-zip. RBI single by Brett, 2-1. Ogilvy, solo homer, 3-1 game. RBI sac fly by Wathan. It's a 3-2 game, Milwaukee. Then in the 7th inning, this is what happens. You get an out, a Claudel Washington double, an out. And Moose Haas has pitched 6 2/3 at this point, giving up 7 hits. But George Brett's coming up with a tie run at second and 2 outs. So the Brewers figure, let's go to a lefty. And they bring in Bill Travers. And George Brett says, you can bring anybody you feel like bringing in. I'm going yard, and he does. Brett, 2-run dinger. Then a single, then a walk, and that was Travers' day. Another single, 3-run inning. Mr. Robin Yount, again, Yount and Brett. Yount hits a homer in the 8th. Too little, too late. It's a 5-4 Kansas City win. The key play was bringing a lefty in to face Brett, and it backfired. And the winning pitcher was Craig Chamberlain. Quisenberry got a save. Bill Travers takes the defeat. 2 straight wins for the Royals. They're halfway there, folks. And the Brewers, I know they want to go home and turn this around. And that might be the case, but the bigger case is the Kansas City starting rotation. Because the other 2 starting pitchers, once you get past Leonard and Chamberlain, are lefties. Mike Jones in Game 3 and Larry Gurra in Game 4, and the Brewers destroy lefties. Mike Jones, top of the 1st though. It's Pete Vukovich not looking very sharp. A walk, single, sac fly, and then inexcusably a 3-base error by Gorman Thomas, who's a 1E4 in center field. Scores on the ground ball, 3 unearned runs for the Royals. Bottom of the inning, an error by Brett, followed by 3 walks and a grand slam by Ben Ogilvy. So it's a 5-3, probably more runs than the team scored in games 1 and 2. 5-3 first inning. Then the Royals, again, big 3rd inning. Single, Brett, triple, Aikens, home run. They got 7 runs this quickly off of Vukovich. The Royals need a bold move here. In the bottom of the 4th, after a walk and a double play, Gorman Thomas solo homer makes it 7-6, and the Royals are saying, we've had enough. We're taking the lefty out. Quick hooking Mike Jones to get a righty in there. And they get Pedro Borbon to come in. He doesn't do that much. Gives up a home run to Ogilvy in the 5th inning. They take him out for Rene Martin. He gives up a single and a triple in the 6th inning. And an RBI single by Molitor in the 7th inning. The Brewers just have too many answers offensively today. And the Royal bats stopped hitting after the 3rd inning. So the Royals piled up 7 runs on 6 hits in this game. It all came early. Brewers 9 runs on 12 hits. They get the victory. They needed at least 2. They got 1 of them. Home teams won all 3 games. Game 4. The best pitcher for Kansas City is Larry Gurra. That's the good news. The bad news is Larry throws left-handed. Larry Gurra versus Jim Slayton. Early on, though, Willie Aikens, a 2-run double. Royals have the lead. Then in the 2nd, RBI single, Frank White, 3-0. And then the Brewers start to chip away off of Gurra. Sac fly by Charlie Moore. Solo homer by Gorman Thomas. It's 3-2. Then in the 5th, the final 2 runs of the game happen. After an out, a single, and an out, Sixto Lezcano hits the home run off of Larry Gurra. And this was set up. This was very unfortunate. You had a ground out, a single, and then Yount, this out here, it was pitcher X on Gurra, an E0 pitcher, but ground ball C was rolled. So Lezcano got the swing away there. 4-3 game. Battle of bullpens, and the story today is Bob McClure. So you saw Bill Travers, a lefty, fail earlier. But Bob McClure goes 2 1/3 innings in the 7th, 8th, and 9th innings. He needs Tom Hume to get the final out in the 9th inning. Your Milwaukee Brewers hold on at home. Got just enough offense against Larry Gurra early. They win game 4, 4-3. Jim Slayton lasted 6 1/3 innings, 9 hits. Larry Gura, 6 innings, 8 hits. A 4-3 game, but you really have to look at this Royal offense. They could do nothing after the second inning, and that cost them their chance to upset and win this division. And the home team wins the first 4 games. Kansas City is not going to the playoffs, but we're not done. We have to play Game 5 in Kansas City. The Brewers and the Angels are tied for the bye. They have identical 16-10 records. So the Royals could be playoff records for the Brewers. If they can win Game 5 at home, that would take the Brewers out of a bye. So let's see here what happened when they went back to Kansas City. Here we go. It's Mike Caldwell and Dennis Leonard again. And the story really is Dennis Leonard just pitches really well against the Brewers. First inning, though, they get a triple to the Brewers and score on a pass ball, 1-zip. Bottom half of the inning, after 2 outs, they get to Caldwell, single walk, and a 2-run single by Frank White. 2-1 Royals. You get a Ben Ogilvie homers, 2-2. Bottom of the 4th, a walk, and there's that guy again, Frank White, having a big Game 5. 2-run blast, all 4 RBIs to this point. It is a 4-2 game. Then in the 6th inning, a walk to Jim Wolford and UL Washington, a 2-run homer. It is now 6-2, and Caldwell would just last. You saw him in Game 1, pitch 9 1/3. Here he's just going 6 1/3 with 8 hits and 6 runs. He takes the loss. Kansas City does get the win. It's a 6-2 game in the 9th, and we'll show you what happened in the 9th inning. 4-run lead. Yount flies out. Cooper flies out. But then Dennis Leonard gives up a Sixto Lezcano single, a Ben Ogilvie single, a Jim Gantner single, and now suddenly the bases are loaded with Gorman Thomas, of all people, and his 45 home runs, stepping into a grand slam chance to tie this game in the 9th. They pull Leonard, they go to Quisenberry, and they get a fly ball to center field to end the game. The Royals do win the series, but it's 3-2. The home team wins every game in the series, and the Milwaukee Brewers, unfortunately, have lost their bye. And here we are, the Brewers. They were a number 2 seed with a bye, no longer. The Angels nip them at the buzzer for a bye, so they don't have to play in the wild card round. The rest of the bracket is set. Baltimore will host the Oakland A's in a play-in game to see who the 6th seed is. The winner immediately plays the wild card game against Milwaukee in Milwaukee. Then, in the other wild card game in the American League, it'll be the Indians facing the Yankees, with the Expos and Angels on a bye. In the National League, we're going to have the Atlanta Braves visiting Las Vegas in the play-in game, and the winner plays the number 3 seed Portland team. Number 5 Mets play Phillies, who are also bounced out of a bye. The Cincinnati Reds, Houston Astros have the byes in the National League. We have played 455 games at this point. We still have 2 more play-in games. We have 7 teams left in each league. So the rule change in the final series made the league more competitive and more baseball to play. That's it tonight. Thanks for checking this out. Congratulations to the Milwaukee Brewers. It's a good news, bad news story. You win the division, you go to the playoffs, but you do not get a bye. Thanks for checking this out. We'll see you next time.